Hi traders, it's Roberto, and today is September the 8th, 2014, beginning of the week, and I'd like to share two strategies. One is called the Sunday Gap and the Monday Retracement. So let's start with the Sunday Gap. Um, Markets tend to, not all the time, but they tend to gap up or down at the beginning of the week, which is Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern. And the only way this strategy works is if that gap is substantial. If it exceeds the daily range of a certain currency pair, then the markets do retrace. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is the pound Canadian dollar. And notice this gap, market gap down 213 pips. Normal, the daily range on a pound Canadian dollar is about 120 pips. So it exceeded its daily range, so this counter trend trade qualifies. And this is not a trade that you would take and stay in for a very long time. In fact, this trade only lasted about 4 hours. And the retracement was about half, about 113. I actually expected it to go all the way up to the swing point right here at 176.97, and it just failed. The downward momentum was so strong that it didn't even go all the way up to that swing point. It turned around and went south. So that's the first strategy. And just remember the rules. When you see that gap, and if you are capable, if you're able to trade at 5 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday, then you can capture this move. The market gaps down, exceeds its daily range. You take a counter trend trade and exit at your discretion. With this trade, the market went up over 100 pips. That's one trade. Let's look at a couple of others. Here was the pound yen. Just make this and the same thing. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Here is the gap down, 190 pips. Exceeded its daily range, and usually the pound yen hasn't put in more than 120 pips at a time. Friday it only put in about 108 pips, so exceeded its daily range. So you would immediately take a trade in the opposite direction. The market went up about 90 pips. Let me just show you a few more. I was focusing more on the pound the pound because it's been so predictable in the past few weeks. Here's a pound Aussie, gap down 163 pips, and this retraced 75 pips. So that's the first strategy. It's very predictable. You just wait for that gap and then count the number of pips, and if it's exceeded its daily range, you're going to get some sort of a retracement. Okay, and it's more of a scalping technique. It's not a strategy to stay in for any length of time. Okay, so that's that first strategy. Then the second strategy is that's Monday retracement, and that Monday retracement can happen at any time. Usually I'd like to take it at the beginning of the New York session because it's volume. So there's the gap down, the Sunday retracement, or rather the gap down, and there's a retracement on the Sunday gap. Then this is Monday, and there's the retracement. Price came back down to a previous support level, which is very common, the markets do. Then it gave us this false break, or sort of like a doji hammer, and there's your trade. There's your Sunday, or rather your Monday retracement. And a Monday retracement, I would typically enter around 8 o'clock Eastern, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on the candlestick pattern. If I see this pattern here, then yes, I would take this trade. I see a color change candle. We would utilize our color change candle strategy. So this was about 3 hours ago. So this occurred around 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Okay, let's look at a couple of other pairs. Here's a pound yen. Market found support around 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern, turned around and went north. Pound Aussie, the same thing. And the euro pound, the opposite direction. Market went up, found resistance. There's that Monday retracement. Okay. So again, we have the gap up or gap down. And in this case, on the euro pound, the market gapped up 88 pips, and that basically is the daily range on the euro pound. Then the market went down about 30 pips, then continued on its trend, and there's the Monday retracement. Let's go back to pound Canadian dollar. There's a gap down, exceeded its range. You would take a trade around that time, around 6, maybe after that candle closes, which is about 6, 7 o'clock, coming into the Asian session. The Sunday gap, market retraces, goes back down, retests the lows. Here's that Monday retracement, and you would take a trade around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and capture. Normally I would stay in this trade till probably around the London close, which is at about 45 minutes from now. Here's the other currency, the pound yen. Market sold off. Here's Monday's retracement. And if we draw a fib from the swing high all the way down to the swing low, and actually I'm sorry, that's not correct. Here's Friday's swing high up here all the way down to the swing low, Monday swing low. And notice that 61% retracement coincides with that support level, Friday support. So if a market can manage to get up to these levels, 171.19, that's a very good excuse me, area to short with a stop loss above Friday's high. Okay, so if the market's going to continue to sell off this week, then we should find resistance either at 50% or 61% retracement level and start looking for red candles to come into the market. You use the color change candle strategy and then take a trade, and your stop loss would be above the swing high. Let's look at some other pairs. Same thing with pound Aussie dollar. Market was in a downtrend. It gapped down. Here's Monday's retracement. Nice draw fib from Friday's swing high to swing low. Today's swing low. And the 61% retracement level happens to be the support of Friday before it gapped down. So that would be an area that if I was going to short, it would be there. And the stop loss would be above the swing high, Friday swing high. Now, if it breaks Friday swing high, then of course we're not in a downtrend any longer. Draw a trend line. Then we're not in a downtrend. But Friday's highs needs to be broken if the market's going to turn around and go in the opposite direction this week. But as long as price stays below Friday's high, then the market should continue to sell off. So that's it. I will be recording some more videos, more live videos like I did on Friday. Any questions, please contact me via my website, fx-northwest.com. And we have several programs if you're interested in taking your trading to the next level. Have a good trading week, and this is Roberto. Take care.